we doing? I'm gonna take the mic out. Are we okay with that? Hell yes. I'm gonna move this. It is in my way. So when I was a freshman in high school, I bought a fistful of penis enhancement pills from an old Guatemalan man in the high school parking lot. Regularly. That was just a thing I did. The whole student body did. Everybody was buying dick pills from this old Guatemalan man in the parking lot. But we weren't just like buying pills. We were buying peace. Do you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in a place called Simi Valley, California. It's a nice little mixing pot of drugs and gang violence. It's great place. And it was like a very violent area, right? And I was a freshman in high school, and so I was very small, right? And for continuity and for convenience, so you guys can envision the story, I remained small, just for you. But I was always, my whole motivation as a freshman in high school was just to position myself in a way to not get my ass beat. I was always just trying to be a value add to all the groups. I was being very diplomatic. You know what I mean? Like, I was playing sports, so I was cool with the jocks. I smoked weed with the punkers. I would drink 40s behind the In-N-Out with the Mexican gangsters. The white power kids didn't fuck with me because I was white. And then for continuity, I remained that way for this story too. It was a very violent school. It was like we had fights every day after school, right? We had so many fights after school that you would have like ballads where you'd have multiple fights, but it turned so unruly at the park, so many fights, that they needed a referee. And so I was trying to be a value add to the situation, so I became that person. And so I was like mediating fights between white power and Latin gang fights, right? It would be jocks versus a punker. There'd be a gay dude beating up somebody that said a homophobic slur, but always the main ballot was the white power and Latin gang fights. And they kept inviting me back, but there were only like 2 rules, really, right? My job was to make sure that it wasn't a group fight, no brawls, and no weapons. Every 3rd fight was a brawl. Every 10th, somebody got stabbed. I was not good at my job. I was just not. But they kept bringing me back, and I gotta think it's just because I was always like peppering in a joke here and there, right? That was like kind of how I started doing stand-up, was telling jokes to like hormonal white power kids. Kids that are like quoting Hitler but not old enough to grow the stash. You know, and so I would just be telling jokes to all these angry children, and so I'd pepper in some levity, because everybody at a race war is so serious. You know, and so I just try to put a little smile on their face. I was always just like trying to joke, like, you know what I mean? Like, Wayne is one of the white power kids, and I just remember like before one of the fights, like, Wayne, what's this behind your ears? Like, uh-oh, it's the knife that was in your sock. And then I turn around and I think that I'm gonna get a bunch of laughs from all the people, but they look horrified. I look back, Wayne is getting the shit beat out of him. And then all I could think was like, that's probably why he wanted the knife. But then Sal came. Sal came in on a green Datsun truck. He drove into the high school parking lot. He set up camp, and he just started selling us all dick pills. You know, and he would sell us fistfuls of dick pills. He'd say, take 2 of these in the morning, jerk off. Take 2 at night, jerk off again. I was a freshman in high school. I was gonna do that shit anyway. Right? But the first red flag should have been that the unit of measurement was fistfuls. And he would sell them, and Sal would just sit out of his Datsun truck, and he would sell us dick pills. And when I say that peace came over the student body, I really mean it. Because one thing that we all had as freshmen is we were all trying to have sex. The only thing we knew about sex was porn. And the only thing we knew about those people having sex is they had 10-inch throbbing dicks. Right? And so we were like, that's what we need to have sex. Not the acne, not the screechy voice, not the fact we never even talked to a woman. It was the dicks. And so we all got together. And people that were warring nations were now at peace. And now they're all talking to each other, and we're bringing people out of the dark ages of masturbation. There's people teaching you how to fuck a surgical glove with Lubriderm inside, but this person's just learning to jack off, and everybody'd sit at lunch and they'd exchange. It was an exchange of information on masturbation, right? That's how the Renaissance started, right? Because everybody was at peace, and there was an exchange of information, and now there was peace, and everybody started talking about their dicks. I learned how to fuck a watermelon from a Latin gang member. That's true. Thank you for that clap. That very, Very tepid. You were like, I'm about to no, that's not something to clap about. It's a child fucking a melon. It was wild, man. The fights subsided, and I think part of it was the transfer of information. Part of it just everybody's jerking off after school, you know, and everything was peaceful. But then I didn't really have the value, right? And so then I kind of felt out of place. Also, I wanted to belong so much that I was using all my lunch money to buy dick pills. You know, because, and do you know what happens to a growing boy with a tummy full of dick pills? I stopped growing, dog. You know, I started those during my formidable years. I had a belly full of dick pills. And all I wanted was my pizza rolls. That's all I wanted, but Sal knew. Sal knew that there was social pressure to buy the dick pills because if you wanted in on the masturbation conversation, you better be buying those dick pills. Nobody would let you in because that's weird if you're going to be talking about your dick without dick pills, right? And so everybody would, if you admitted that your dick stopped getting bigger and you admitted that you stopped buying dick pills, they'd all start making fun of you. And Sal knew that. And he'd be like, hey, Steven, how about you buy those dick pills? I was like, I wanted pizza, dog. But then one day it came crashing down. Principal got on the intercom and he made a strict, no old Guatemalan men allowed to sell penis enhancement pills in the parking lot rule. And typically, I don't like it when big government gets involved with small business. But I was cool with that, right? Because I got my pizza rolls back. And that was huge to me. But then the warring started happening. The fighting started happening. Everything went back to the status quo, but I got my pizza rolls, so I was chill. Then about 3 weeks goes by. I go to the grocery store and I run into Sal. And he gives me the whole pitch. He's like, hey, Steven, how about you buy these dick pills? And I put my foot down. I was like, no, Sal. We're better off without you. He's like, oh, so you figured it out. I was like, figured what out, Sal? He's like, I've been selling all you motherfuckers multivitamins this whole time. And that hit me in waves. It's like, first off, Sal, I thought we were friends, dog. Like, you got a kinship with your drug dealer. Secondly, why'd you make me jerk off? You know? That was weird. That was, I don't know what type of sick fantasy you got that you made a bunch of kids jerk off at 7:15 every morning. But then he like spun it around while I was still cloudy-headed. And he was like, okay, how about you sell dick pills for me? And I did. In retrospect, I don't know why I didn't just go to a vitamin world, right? Like I knew the source. But I wanted to be part of something bigger than me. He had this Pablo Escobar charisma about him. I was like, let's do it, Poppy. And so at the peak, I was selling a freezer bag full of dick pills a day. I was big man on campus. I was back. I got my value add. I'm walking around campus. I'm selling dick pills. I'm refereeing fights. I'm selling the dick pills at fights. I was big. I was the most popular I've ever been to this day. I'm getting invited to parties I had no business being at. We're crushing up B12 on the sink, just snorting it off. I was big timing. Then one day I came home. My mother was sitting at the coffee table. She's crying. She's got a big freezer bag full of dick pills in front of her. She's just crying. She's like, Steven, I was just cleaning inside of your room. It's like, first off, nobody cleans inside of drawers. You were being fucking rude. So I was just cleaning inside of your room and I found all these drugs. Like, Mom, they're not drugs. I swear to God, they're not drugs. They're multivitamins. Nobody would hide multivitamins. Explain to me right now. I was like, please don't make me explain. She's like, explain to me right now. My son's a drug dealer. I'm going to send you away. I was like, Mom. She's like, okay, I'll explain. And I told her the whole story. And then she just stopped crying. And she looked me in the eyes and she just said, I fucking wish they were drugs. All right. My name's Steven Campbell. Thank you very much.